Hello and welcome back. In the last section, we have set up and executed our application. Now our application is running fine. If we go back, then we can see we have set up index.js and app.js in the previous videos, and we have removed our errors as well. Okay, if you remember, we have talked about views and we have included the dummy data. Okay, and now in this views directory, we are going to open our R. Okay, and then we'll talk about forget password later on. Go sign in and index.js. So this is the dummy data, and this can be seen inside here. If we go to to root, sign in, so this page can be displayed with sign in, and this is taken from this component. So now we are going to edit this sign page. I'm going to remove everything from here and then go and type import React, and we have to include hooks, use state, and use effect. Okay, and this is from React. So use state and use effect are very handy hooks. Use state means we are going to write a functional component and we need the state functionality. Okay, so we need to add state in our function component. If you do not use hooks, then you have to write a class if you do not use hooks, then this use state especially, then you have to write with class component, and this is a function component, and this is a very good way to handle the state with use state. And use effect is also very similar to component did mount, and it runs before your JSX. Okay, so this is a very good way of importing your data inside your component. And the next functions also very important, and these are use selector and use dispatch, and these are from React Redux. Okay, so these are also hooks, use selector and use dispatch. So this use selector hook is a part of React Redux API, and which is an alternative to the existing connect higher order component. So we will be discussing it later, what is a connect function inside Redux. You need to understand that use selector is going to take in all of the data from our store. Okay, and it will take another function to manipulate that data. So use selector and the use dispatch functions work together. Okay, so we will talk about it later. So in the next line, create link, import link from React router DOM. Okay, and then import use did mount from hooks and use did mount. If you remember, I've given you files. If you go in your hooks and use did mount. Okay, if you go in here, use effect function will run first and it will set it true, and this is the state of the function in which you have the did mount data, and the set did mount means you can manipulate that data with this function, and this is the function, and we are taking did mount with true. Go back in here and then import sign in and sign in with Google. Okay, sign in with Google, and we are importing it from actions and all actions. Okay, so we want to sign in with your email and password or with your Google account. Okay, and then import input from components, UI, and input. Okay, and I've given you these components. Go in here, go in UI, and go inside your. Okay, in this file we are doing form validity, and this is the reusable file. Okay, every time when you want to sign in your application, you can use this file. Okay, and you can see we are checking different errors. Okay, so you can read out this form. This is very simple. Go back in here and then type import circular progress from components, UI, circular progress. Okay, if you go inside components, okay, circular progress. Okay, and it will take boolean value true or false. If you sign in, then that circular kind of thing should be displayed there in order to give you some kind of feedback. Okay, and then const sign in. Okay, and we are taking props. Okay, so first thing we need to specify or first of all we can take it as this is use selector hook. Okay, so this is the use selector hook, and this will take state of auth or auth state of our application. Okay, so it should take state, and this will going to run an arrow function and should be inside parentheses. Okay, this is an object, so we will write here we should take our auth status first and then is authenticating. Okay, use it as auth status, and it's going to be state.app.auth status and is authenticating state.app.is authenticating. Okay, now we have auth status and is authenticating. State is a central repository, and this use selector is going to take the data from our central repository and is going to take auth status and is authenticating to this. Okay, and then const, and this is provider. Okay, remember provider is building the bridge between our central repository to the rest of the application, and we will set provider. This is going to be function and use state, and now we will specify undefined. Okay, so this is its default value. So provider selector has a function. Okay, so this is the data, and this provider selected is undefined, and now we are going to change the provider selector with this function. So in sign in we need to add our forgot password as well. So in here import forgot password coming from constant. Okay, routes. In the previous video we have talked about our routes. Okay, inside constant routes, and we are taking this forgot password, and the path is forgot password. If you remember, if you go in routers, in app router, we haven't added our path inside our routers, so we can add our public path Okay, so this is going to be public path because the user has not signed in yet. Okay, so I'm copied it and in here give the path. Okay, one more thing, we can give path by including or by integrating this file constants. Okay, we can include this file in this app router, or we can write directly forgot password in here. Okay, save this file, and we should take in, like we are taking sign up from views auth sign up, like in here we should take in from views auth forgot password. Okay, and our webpack is already going to detect index.js inside forgot password, so go in here and import forgot password from views and go to auth and go to forgot password. Fine. Auth forgot password, go in here and give it forgot password. Now save this file, and remember one thing, we need to add some more functions inside our Firebase. So close both of them, go to index. Okay, in here we need to add two different states for sign up, okay, and for forgot password, so that we can display our sign in message separately. Cost, and we are taking sign in status and we are setting status, and in use state first argument is a data and the second argument is always function to manipulate that data. And at first this is going to be empty object, and cost we will take second one as is signing in, and the function is set is signing in. Okay, and then use state, and first it is false, and the last one is cost, and we take field set field if we are typing with login and password, then we can use state, and at first it's empty, and again I'm wrong spelling status and capitalize this. Okay, then we need to dispatch or action creators, so cost dispatch is equals to use dispatch, and cost did mount is equal to use did mount. Okay, and it's cost. Okay, so I'm going to hide this. So first of all, our use effect function is going to run. Okay, and it will check, let's say use effect. Okay, and in here we'll check if did mount and set sign in status. Okay, this is a function, and we'll give auth status, and this auth status is coming from your use selector from your central repository. Okay, and then set is signing in, and we'll give is authenticating, and this is also coming from your central repository. And then we'll give it key value in here or status and is authenticating. Okay, in use effect, what this array is doing. Okay, so if we cancel this array, so use effect will render again and again. Okay, so it will slow down your application eventually. Okay, so we need to add check here. If we add this array at the end or add a second argument with use effect function, so it will check if auth status and is authenticating is changed or not. If it is changed, then it is going to re-render. Otherwise, it will not simply render your application, because we need to check our auth status and is authenticating. So by giving this check, we can save our application to slow down. Okay, we will write different functions after this return. Oops. Okay, and give it a colon. Okay, now in here we need to add div, and first div is with class name and sign in content. Okay, I've given you the SASS files. Okay, so you can go to my repo and you can download those files, and this is the file is here. Okay, styles, everything is written inside it. Okay. And this div has a class name, and class name is loader, and inside this div create h3 tag and has a class name, and class name is, you can give it the double quote and also double quotation. So this h3 has a toast success sign in success, and give it a message of status dot. If you are already signed in, then we give you this circular progress self-closing. So we have installed Toast, and we are giving this. So Toast is a library in which you can give the feedback to users. And what if you get any error? Okay, so sign in status, and remember this sign in status is coming from here. Okay, so there's a data and we can change the data with sign in status. Okay, and we are changing it in here. Okay, and we're giving it auth status. So ultimately sign in status will take our auth status, which is coming from here, from our central repository. Okay, and then we give the message. Okay, and we give it inside h5 tag. So class name is here, class name, text center with toast error. Okay, if you want to know more messages, more feedbacks with Toast, then you can go and can search with Toast. So you will get more information on Toast, how you can give feedback to your client. And then our status dot message. Okay, we are checking in here is, or we are currently signed in our application. Last time we haven't signed out, then you will be signed in your application. It will give you the message that you have signed in your application. And if you have any error in signing, then it will give you an error message. And If you haven't signed in and you have no error, then you can go and you can sign in your application. So in here we type if not success. So then go and sign in, and we are going to take it inside fragments without adding any node. Okay, in here we have div and class name. Okay, so class name is different, so we will check in here sign in and $. We'll check our sign in status. Okay, so we'll check sign in status dot message, and also we are going to check if not for status dot success, and we'll give it input error. Okay, and change the spelling and okay, then start your main from here. Div class name is equals to sign in main, and then give h3 tag sign in to mobile shop. Okay, and then type your tag in here, take it, and then div class name is equals to sign in wrapper, and then create your form and create on submit. So this is the event submit form, and this is the function on submit form. We will create this function just after our UI elements, and then create another div class name sign in, and create first input field input. Okay, so if we notice we have, and it's coming from our form validation function. Okay, so this is very usable file, and this is the component. And if we go in here in components UI and input, so we can give it this information to this input component, and there is no mess of typing form validation for this project anymore, and you can use this file for another projects as well. So in here we'll give it label. Okay, and label is going to be email. Okay, in here we'll take read only, and is signing in, and the next is place holder, and give it the metadata abc. Okay, and then on input change, so on input change event we can call this function on email input. Okay, and then is required. Okay, and we give it true, and field is equals to email, and type is equals to email. And then we can copy this div and paste just below in here. The div class will remain same, and change the label with password is signing in will be going to same, and change it with your password, and change the function with on password input, and is required is true. Change another, go and type show error true, and give it password. Okay, move this line, and just below this div create another div, and above this div type br. Okay, just break the line, and then inside the div we have class name, and the class name is sign in field, and sign in action. Okay, inside this div we have link. Okay, you can go to forget password. Okay, and on we have on click event in here, on click, and give it on click link. This is the function that we are going to create. Style. Okay, and give the style text decoration underline, and 2 forgot password. Okay, in here this is the root path, and copy all of this. Okay, and paste it inside your link. Create span and type forgot password. Okay, if forgot password, then if the user click on forgot password, the on click link event will be called, and the style of this link is here, and it will take to this password route. Okay, just below this link create button. Okay, and inside this button class name button sign in button, and then disable. Okay, is signing in. If you're signing in, then keep this button disabled. Okay, and the type is submit, and we can keep this button, okay, without self closing, and just under this button we will write a circular progress bar, and this is a component that we have imported, and create a theme, and theme is light, and visibility we will set is signing in, and provider selected is equal to sign in. Okay, and then inside this button we will check is signing in and provider selected is equals to sign in. Okay, then give signing in. Okay, otherwise sign in. Okay, if we have pressed the button, okay, and that submit button, then it will give you the message signing in. Is signing in and provider selected sign in, is both of them are satisfied, then will give you, just wait a minute, I will be signing in you to the application. Otherwise it will give you sign in. Please go and sign in again. Okay, from here we have completed and okay, so just below we need to sign in with Google as well. So okay, so inside this button we type class name and the class name is sign in provider button and provider Google. Okay, and then give disabled, and disabled is going to call is signing in, and on click we pass on signing in with Google. This is the function that we are going to add. Okay, inside this button we will add a couple of things. First is we'll check is signing in and provider selected is equals to Google or not. If yes, then give circular progress bar, and inside it give theme equals to dark. Okay, otherwise okay, and inside it class name and give it Google sign in, that icon. Okay, so we'll give icon with this. Okay, okay, so in here now we can give it span and type sign in with Google. Okay, this is text on the button. Okay, so we need to export this, export default, and this is sign in. Okay, and go above. Inside here I have taken the long pause. Okay, so if you remember we are using sign in here is success, sorry, so we need to add this in here as well. cost is success, and this is equal to all status dot success and all status dot type, which is equals to all. Okay, now we need to add different functions in here. First is on submit form. When we submit our form, we should call this function. Okay, just in here, cost on submit form. Okay, and this is going to be our error function. We will always write wrong spelling in here. Okay, so we will talk about it just after. Okay, cost, and the next function is on email input and on password input. Okay, on email input. Okay, and this is again going to be error function, and the next function is on password input. Okay, if you go in here, the next one is on click link. Okay, whenever we want to change your password or forgot password, cost on click link. Okay, and this is also an error function. Okay, and if we go below, so we have a new function on sign in with Google. Okay, so in here, cost on sign in Google. Okay, and always try to lock. Okay, so if we go in on submit form, we are taking values, okay, from our fields, and we dot prevent default. Okay, cost no error equals to object dot keys, and we are going to give field dot every key, and this is okay. So in here we'll give it field key and with value, and then if not field of key, then give it error. Okay, in here type field, and then if no error, so go and dispatch your sign in action creator. And it will give you the plain JavaScript object, which is action, also called the form in our analogy that we have talked about for Redux. Okay, if you haven't seen my analogy of what is Redux with the whole analogy and the beautiful code of that analogy, then go inside this course, find out what is Redux video, and then set provider selected, set it with sign in. Okay, so this sign in. Okay, and if we go in here, we haven't imported it yet. So what is this sign in? this sign in is your action creator. Okay, if we go inside actions, okay, so all sections go above, then this sign in, and we are giving it email and password. Okay, email and password, and it will directly call a reducer, okay, or action creator or form receiver, also called the dispatch, is going to make a copy of this action creator, and it will pass that copy to all of those reducers, and that one reducer will be executed that will be matched with this sign. So in here, if we go below on email input, we are receiving value and error. So set field. Okay, if we go in above, okay, so this is the value field, and we are passing it to the function. We are going to manipulate or change this field on email input event and give it OE. Okay, it means that we are now using this field. In order to use this field, we are using it with 3 dots. Okay, so then email, give it value and error. Okay, same in the case of set password. We have email, and now we are going to work with password and change it with password. Okay, now it's fine, and we are using set field function coming from this use state. At first we have nothing inside it, and now we have field with email and password. Okay, and then go to on click link. This is, if you remember, in here on click link we are passing our user to forget password page. Okay, above in here, and have a value if is signing in. If you haven't signed in, then e dot prevent default. Okay, and that's it. So we have to check if we are signing in or not. So we have to check it to the forgot page, and the last one is on signing in with Google. So we are going to dispatch or action creator, which is dealing with sign in with Google. Okay, and set provider selected to Google. Now you can understand what is this provider selected. If you are signing in with Google, then it will select Google, otherwise it will select sign in. Okay, now you can save, go back to your browser. Let's see if we have any error. Okay, we have one warning at on click. In here we go inside here, then you can see on click link you have to pass action creator, and on click with capitalized. Save, go back. Okay, go in here. So if we go inside forgot password, then you can see forgot password component will be displayed, and we will be editing this as well.